So it was sophomore year when I met him, and he was in my history class, and we did interviews. And I remember when he went up, he was telling like about himself, and he was really positive about everything and seemed to have like a really strong outlook on life. And I really liked that about him, and I don't know, that's what really like drew me to him. And I told one of his best friends that I liked him, and I never thought that we were going to be in a relationship, but we ended up staying in a relationship for 2 years, and it was really good in the beginning. Like, I was so happy, and every time I thought about my future, like, I could see him in it, and I think that's something typical for a high school relationship. Like, we all think we're going to stay together, but I really, really thought that he was somebody that I could potentially marry. And, you know, it was fun in the beginning, and he brought out really good sides of me. And I think I'm a very pessimist person and negative, and I see like the glass half empty kind of person. And he kind of switched the way I thought, and I started to look at things in a brighter light. And I don't know, that's kind of like what made me fall in love with him, essentially. But as our relationship progressed, I started to feel like I loved him more than he loved me. And I think that happens sometimes, but it's kind of a shitty feeling. And to be blunt, I mean, it sucks. Like, the person you love, you want to know they love you back more than you love them, and that they would do anything to be with you. And I don't know, I felt like I would literally take a bullet for him and I wouldn't get that in return. And so I kind of dealt with it for a while because I wanted to be with him, and, you know, you just kind of powered through it. But it started to really bother me, and, like, there were things that he would do that I started to make excuses for him. And it wasn't anything I noticed until, like, one of my best friends started to point it out. And, you know, I got very defensive about it. And, you know, obviously I would try to defend, like, the person I love, like my boyfriend. I want everyone to like him. But I really wasn't happy. And I guess that's when I started to change my mind. So it was like we dated for like a year, and I broke up with him because of that reason. And it was like the worst thing in the world, and I couldn't do it, and I like begged for him back. And finally he took me back, and I was like, you know, I don't care if you don't change, like, it's fine, it's my fault, you know. But obviously it still bothered me. And so we dated for like another year after that, and things progressively just got worse. And I think it's important, and what I've learned now is that I kind of went blank. Hold on a second. You can take this part out. What I've learned is that just because somebody doesn't show you affection the same way that you show them affection doesn't mean they don't love you. And people show, you know, that they care about you in different ways. And I think some of it was even my fault too. Like, he would do things for me, but it wasn't the way that I would do them. So I assumed that it wasn't as good as me, or like it didn't mean as much because that's different than how I would do it. And I don't know, I think I'm just starting to realize that now. But it's not an excuse. Like, there are things that needed to be done that weren't. And I think also that we're young. It's hard for us to know that we deserve better, and that there's more out there than just these 18, 17, 16-year-old boys in high school. And we have a lot to learn. And I see it now, and like, I'm one of them who settled for something when I could get something better for me. And I've made the mistake a couple times, but it's a learning process. And I don't think any person is better than any other person. Like, I don't think he is a bad person at all. We just aren't good for each other. Or we're not at the moment. I don't know. But, yeah. What else do you want to say?